Be 4 minutes into this. 1 second. Let me see if everything all good. All right. So far on the daily chart, we're trading inside of that. You can see we got this candle wick, and I put fibs on that. Um, I really want to see us stay in this upper half, or not stay in the upper half. But I mean, if we gonna be bullish, like at least trade into this inefficiency, right? And then we might want to stay above this and try to gain some type of support on the lower time frames, like the equilibrium part, to then uh, showing a continuation that we want to push in here, and that's what's gonna convince me that okay, we actually don't want to continue down for the previous day low. All right, and we might take out the previous day high, then try to go for the previous day low, but I prefer to keep these highs intact. But if we're gonna be bullish, then I don't mind targeting that. As long as it shows me some type of continuation where we can get there. And if not, and we just get there anyway, then that's fine. Because it is TGI Friday or TGIF. So, and then that stands for thank goodness it's Friday. It's a model that ICT come with. Like throughout the week, like Monday, we've been bearish all the way till today. So Friday can be a reversal day. But we don't absolutely have to, right? We could show some continuation to the downside. And that's if we start working in the lower half, we start wicking in this upper half, then or no, in the lower half, sorry. Yeah. If we start wicking, yeah, well no, I would say not right. If we wick the upper half and then start working in the lower half, then yeah, I'm gonna look for continuation shorts. But if we just stay up in the upper half and react off of the midpoint and lower time frames and start showing continuation, then yeah, I'm gonna look for longs. All right, and then we have this old new day opening gap underneath the previous day low. So gotta keep that in mind too. If we want to decide to trade on it. It don't look like we are gonna, but let's just see. My idea was for us to trade up here, leave these lows down here intact, to then potentially want to come for that later on. Now we might want to come for this high, which is, I mean, that's understandable if we want to do that. It could just take out the high inside of this city right over here. This bearish fair value gap, that price currently respected. It could come back inside of that and actually start moving. So let's just wait and see. Really, I want to see if this can hold price. See if we could stay lower right now and not get too heavy, or yeah, heavy to the upside at least. I'd rather not. I'd rather not see that. But I mean, if I want to continue higher throughout the pre-market session, that's cool. I'm gonna fight it. Got the win yesterday, so I'm not in a rush. It's going on to the lower time frames though. Sorry, bro. Let me put my 730. 730 opening price on real quick. I do that. Do that. 730 open right there. And this is our first week in the fair value gap. Let me get the midnight opening price on as well. Yeah, midnight all the way down here. Do we come for that? Maybe. Got both of these levels on. Then we got the new day opening gap down here. And then this is just a quadrant for the wick up in here. And then you can see right here, right when 7 a.m. opened up, we bounced right off of that bodies, stand above or right on it. And display still higher. So let's see if that our clear manipulation took out the open range. Oh. Took out the open range hard. Let me just stay on 1 minute now. I feel like I'm gonna have a lot of yeah, let me just do this. This stuff low. Let's get the quadrants on here. Oh yeah, right by the midnight open too. All right. Let's get rid of these. Let's get rid of those for now. Now that we know we trade inside of a 15-minute value gap, I'm just gonna remove this for now. Just so it looks more a little bit cleaner. And if I go back to the daily, we are trading with like above it, but I still want to see if this can fall short, right? If it wants to do so. We don't have to, but obviously you can see where we're trading from. So I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of that. In the meantime, let me go to the 1 minute chart to see something. Let's see if we get this. We get a pullback. Or not one. No. We already got this pullback now to the 730 first percent. And I'm gonna put this on. Now we either want to take out the high once more, or we're gonna displace one more time. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I like this. I like these for short plays. I like it. We probably head for this level, the opening range low, close to the midnight open. Alright, so just watching this here, and so far we got a decent pullback. I want to see if this follows through with a continuation, or just come up and take out this high once more before we start displacing down again. $15-minute, and closed above that, close above this area. So there is a possibility where we use this range here for a continuation. I mean, the hourly though, we have this hourly gap, which for me, is what I'm really paying attention to, and this bearish order block here that we're currently respecting. So I really want to see this try to close back inside of the range, and if it shows that we want to push down, like right now we closed them back below it, I want to kind of see like a better displacement here to the downside, and then I'll look to get involved in some shorts possibly. We just really gotta see if we're gonna try to work below this low, and then I'll go ahead and try this out. Let's see what we got. Get like 2 contracts here. Target the low, possibly, and then maybe we go lower to 100 handles. Let's see. We have to get into that lower quadrant. Get those nice push to the downside. I'm also trying to make sure this not gonna chop around. Not looking bad, not looking bad at all. I'm curious to see though if we're gonna close below here. Curious. No, we're just sweeping it at low. All right. Not that we can't. We traded down below here, but that's not what I want to see right there. Factually. Right, 5 minute, 3 minute. No. Just shuffling here through the time frames. If we close below this wick, man, let me just get these opening range, these wick levels off, so it's a little bit cleaner. And we got buy stops taken here. Here we go. That's the kind of movement I like to see right here. That's the movement I like to see. Now, are we like too far? Yeah. But let's see. Do we now take out this low, or do we keep it intact? So then we have a minor volume imbalance right here. So possibly if we trade into here, I'll go ahead and look for something. I ain't like that wick, but it can work. I like how we had this accumulation and left these relative equal lows right here. So I'm actually liking this. Just prefer if we can get like some pullback right here. And yeah, it's not bad. Wait, we ain't got no news today, right? Uh, 45. It's all good. Target this opening range low. See. Yeah, I like how we leaving. Let me check one more time. Right, man. Let's see, because this displacement here is kind of iffy. We might just really try to be shorts out. All right, let's put a limit on that real quick and see if it triggered in here. All right, here we go. And stop loss is gonna be just above. I want to see if we can like work below. Try to get to these relatively below down here. Right. So while that's going, let me go get something real quick. I'll be right back. Stop loss or not, this is an A+ trade set up for me. So if we win, we win. If we lose, we lose. No big deal. Gonna come back next week stronger and better. Might have to reassess this position. It's actually taking way longer than I expected. And when it's doing that, I actually don't like that. Um, might just want to wait for the buy stops. So I'm trying to see if it's gonna push or we're going. Might just reassess this money position here. Okay. All right. See if we can start pushing. So I need this to start running to the downside here. All right. I think we're gonna wait. I'm trying to get a feel for it. It's just consolidating right now, so I actually don't like that. All right, do we work below that low or what? All right, I think we tagged a low. So now I want to see if we push or we're gonna try to rally up. Because if we're pushing up, then we might want to push up higher one more time before we actually go. Which in a sense, I'll just probably move my stop to break even and then just call it that for now and then wait for something better to shape up because it's just taking way too long to move. And for my time, since it's the macro time, I expect this to want to run. So I'll just go ahead and move this to break even because it's actually struggling there or struggling. So like right here, this is where I expect for us to drop. If we don't drop, then this is the straight not it. And I know this setup like it's the back of my hand. And I could be wrong, right? It could just tag me out and then go. But this is where I know for sure this is where we supposed to just drop. But it's 8 a.m. I don't know. We'll see. This could be an easily break even trade, right? Nah, but I don't really care for it. I just want to make sure I'm managing my position the correct way. And it is 8 a.m. So let's see if we get to run to the downside here or not. Yeah, it's just struggling. But it is what it is, right? We get stop break even and we're just gonna reassess our position and wait for something cleaner. And if I don't get nothing cleaner, then hey, sure thing. Now, I expect a nice little drop here, but we are playing around in that little this inefficiency right here. So we're having a hard time. But I really want to see us try to really work below that. We have this volume imbalance as well. So ideally that will be nice to potentially get. I want to see if I can possibly add another contract, but I don't want to get too greedy. I think I'll just leave these two contracts on for now and then call it that. mind you, I want to aim for these base hits. So I do think we'll get to them lows. But once we get to 100, maybe a little bit past that, then I'll probably go ahead and cut the rest of the position off. Remember, we're aiming for base hits, so I'm not really looking to hold the entire and get the entire piece of the pie, just because of the whole like trail and drawdown and whatnot. So until then, that's when we'll look for something. But if it get back to like $50, realistically though, I want to see if this can like drop to the downside, maybe even like to that standard deviation level. And for an easy target, we're struggling here, but I do think we're gonna start dropping here soon. It's really struggling right there. You can see how it got weak right here, right inside of this Sibi and this order block. So I'm thinking we might have like a strong retracement, but I really want to see if we can like really like break through with more displacement. I might just cut this position here and then reassess it. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what it's telling me. And I can't let this position come all the way back to stop loss. And I don't expect for it to be just straight bearish candles, even though it could. And I've seen it so many times where we just drop and drop and then we reverse. Look. All right. Yeah, EF is taking its time, so yeah, we're gonna reassess this position. Just cut it there for now. Just take base hits. I mean, that's not even really a base hit, and I do think it's gonna go all the way down, but again, have an intraday trail and stuff. For now, we're just gonna be building up these base hits. Again, the draw is still lower though. Obviously, like this is way too obvious. But I can't like risk letting this come back. And for now though, until we get these buffers built up, you know what I'm saying? I want to until I have like a nice big buffer. That's when I'll start really letting my trades run. But for now, aiming for the base hits just to get back into the game. We also struggling here. So again, I'd rather not deal with this pullback because I don't know how far it's going to pull back to. And typically, you want to see large candles, don't it? This should not have spent that much time in here. Not that it can't push still, right? I still think it'll get down here. But in this case, I just rather wait, especially when it's just taking its time. Not that I'm in a rush or anything, but again, when when the market is consolidating right around the entry from here to here, I mean that's not much of a move, but it is. It adds up. So especially when you copy trade multiple accounts, so that's gonna add up in the future, right? We're just gonna let this rock and see what it does. So, this real quick. See, I never know how far it's gonna pull back. I do think it'll drop, and if I have like my buffer and all that stuff built up, then I don't mind taking like a, I don't want to take letting this come back for like break even or anything like that. But for me, this is a great exit because you can see where I exit, especially it's taking a long time, and the bodies are staying below these wicks. If bodies was closing below each candle low, okay, I that would have been more ideal for me to hold on more to this position. But you can see if you look closely, them bodies here are just staying above all these wicks. Right, we're not getting bodies closures. So I'm thinking that okay, we might just want to retrace back up once more before we end up wanting to push lower. Let me just get these open range levels back on. This is equilibrium. Yeah, even right here, this should not be closing it, but really we should be like we could be working back below it, right? Just rebalancing the range from this high to this candle low to then continue. That could be happening, but again, body's pausing here. Once this tapped that midpoint, this was supposed to drop. Okay. So we didn't do that. So therefore, it is what it is. We just wait. Just wait for a better opportunity. Up only like $76 on a day. And yesterday was 100. So we slow grinding this out. Slow grinding this out. You know, green days are better than red days. Whether it's small, big, or whatever, they all add up. So just see what this does here. We could actually catch continuation shorts too, like if momentum want to get back below here, body's closing, and then we retracing it to here. Now we could look for continuation shorts to these levels. And now that I'm up on a day by a little bit, and I risk less than $100, so my next trade won't even be a necessary loss. So, yeah, ideally that was a good risk management in my eyes, considering what my objectives and goals are. Obviously, I'd love to capture the whole move, but if it's showing me to basically to get out the market, then I'm gonna exit. I'm not gonna try to fight it or anything like that. It's TGIF, so you do have to keep that in mind. Like I said, we closed above all them levels. This could just be a pullback to equilibrium from this candle low to this candle high, pullback to then continue up higher. And if we do want to continue higher, we have this buy stops over here. And you can see now we reacting off of this bullish 15-minute inefficiency. Again, want to see a closure below that. If we're going to be holding it, we're going to be holding this midpoint and this inefficiency to then push up to this buy stops. And then we also have the rejection block here. So not the wick, but the rejection block of this green candle. But yeah, we really got to wait and see how we trade here. Like here, if we start forming a continuation move higher, this is a market structure shift right here. So if we're going to be bearish, this needs to start working its way below equilibrium of this opening range gap, or of this opening range, and opening range gap, this opening range. So I want to start seeing this work below, closing, and even closing below here to really indicate to me, okay, we're going to be bearish. I don't want to see this. I mean, if we bullish, then again, going to be pushing up. Market structure shift. We got two of them. So if we getting closures above it, and then there's inefficiencies that's forming, then that's going to indicate that we're going higher. So let's just wait on this. See my overall direction though for this, at least the takeout these relatively lows. But we'll need to close below this 15-minute inefficiency. But we're struggling, as you can see. So might just be waiting for 8:30. Who knows? But we should find out. Yeah. I mean, we're getting something below it now. Oops. Where you can see we have no real volume with this. And it's probably because ES isn't like, yeah, yes, it's not really doing much. I think that was a good cause to just get out right there, wait for 9:30. Now that I'm up on the day, I don't even mind trading the 9:30 open. Usually I do one trade a day, but this ain't really like, I mean, I'm like a few ways away from my daily target, which is simply $100 a day. But anything between 50 and $100 is it's like my go-to base hits or in between when I'm in like recovery mode or simply aiming for small objectives. Right? You kind of got to build that for yourself. So when you not really seeing something that you like in price, then you should just exit and then reassess your position rather than letting it come all the way back potentially. Right? You're really better off just building up them small profits that's gonna add up over time. Right? There's gonna be times where you might be correct, like right now. You're like, oh, why you shouldn't leave it at break even? Now, if this had came up showing displacement, aiming for these relative equal highs, that would have been bad. Especially when you have a 25K account, right? So it's like, do you really want to let that type of situation happen and come back on you like that? Like right here, look at us treating that 15-minute inefficiency. I think we closed below it. No, we just reacted off it in this order block, this bullish order block. Now, if we close below that, this will be turned into a breaker. So we can candle high, low, higher high, and then once we get below here, this will be a lower low, and then this order block turns into a breaker. Could use that here for a pullback, and we want to stay below the purple range, which would be the lower quadrants in here. I don't have it on my chart, but if I'll put these on real quick. If we getting below here, if we come back up inside, then yeah, this can be used as a continuation, right? But it's TGI Friday, so I think I really though, yeah, I really close with seeing this bearish inefficiency. So personally, I like to see some more shorts. Oops, I did not mean to do that. Then we have those levels down here that I talked about this morning. That's that daily new day opening gap. So if we push to the previous day low and beyond, then these are the next objectives. Levels down there. But you can see how this is trading right now. This is why I had a good exit even from yesterday. Yesterday was a good exit point and today is a good exit point. Now, it's gonna be times where like, okay, you exit and it just dumps again. But again, first it's showing me stuff like that in the middle of my trades and it's not doing the things that I know it can do, then I don't wanna be in it. So, but my overall goals is just aiming for basic, especially in these conditions. It ain't I'm probably talking to myself and shit, but it's for the future people, man. People that's gonna come back to this and be like, what you do, how you do it. It's all gonna be it right here. Now we so close we 10 minutes out from 8:30. Now I'm like, shit, do I even wanna pay attention to this right now? Or like getting another trade? Cause this is looking good. Ain't gonna lie. This is looking way better now. As soon as I say, yeah, we just wig. Let's see. We're gonna need some closures though. And we took out this high, shallow sweep. There. Now we now we're gonna be working back below. Which is ideally what you want to see when you bearish. We took out the opening range high. Now we have this opening range low. So now that's a decent closure. That is a decent closure. But let's see. I think the new 15-minute candle. Yeah, this is the new 15-minute. We gotta wait. It looks good, but just take it up. It might. Only reason I don't like shorts right now though, is because we still haven't closed on that 15, and we close to 8:30. So we could manipulate this low as well to then bounce up higher. But again, ideally for me, any other day, if it wasn't TGI Friday, then these lows for me is my main focus. Even right now, to be honest, like I still personally would like to see these lows. I would like for that 15 minute to get disrespected, but honestly, it's taking a long time, and you never really know what it's gonna do, especially on TGI Friday. And if we've been bearish all week, even though I still think we can be bearish on a day, but at least for pre-market, and then maybe when 9:30 open up, it can it can do whatever it wants. This thing can go up higher too, so shit. It's like if you even if I had taken anything, for me it's not high probability, especially at the time right now. Like I don't mind taking something past like 8:30, but it's the time, the day, etc. So let me just get rid of these executions now. I think that's ain't necessary no more. Give me a sec. See what I mean? And this is why I follow my rules. And this is why I also follow price action. This is why I also pay attention. Ideally, the short would have been cleaner from here. Should have taken this one. Yeah. But it is what it is. Uh, I did like this one. Now that I noticed it, we closed right below that 730. Like, closed right, came up above. Expected this to be a pullback, then drop, closed below first presented fair value gap in the 730 open. Once we got that closure below that right there, that would have been an entry. So, but yeah, now we still respecting that 15-minute gap. As you can see, still messing around in that. So this might actually want to shape up for a continuation move higher. And then this might just be the low of it. Because we did have our accumulation manipulated down, taking out all these lows and stuff, and then we tapped into this inefficiency. Displaced up higher, taking on buy stops. And then we closed above PDRS, but the hourly did close below. But that's besides the hourly. This is giving us a reason to then push up higher. Maybe we have these two relative equal highs resting right above a key level. So all in all, pullback continue, and this could be set for a long play to the upside. And then what we can target. Did I not put it on where to go? I forgot to put it on. I just marked it or pointed it out. But we have that clean buy stops up here. You can see how we trading right there. We got a closure below the midpoint, but we still held this inefficiency. So I don't need to see this 15-minute candle hold, and then within the next few 15-minute candles, probably try to work back below. This is the 5-minute chart, so I think I want to pay attention to this a little bit. Pay attention to the 5-minute. I like how we came back to this upper quadrant. Now, if we stay below this, and we don't want to reach for either of these key levels in here, and bodies start closing back below, then yeah, this might be shaping up for the move to here. But again, we still playing around in this area, so I honestly wouldn't mind that if we came up and took out the buy stops once more before we then continue down lower. And that's why I'm using this opening ranges, because you get these add clues to what's going on. Like if we respect this order block, I mean, you don't really need it honestly, but again, it could help you. But you could use it without it. To be honest, to be frank, honest, you could. And I'll just use this here to put the 50% on. So you can see we might just be reacting off of this upper quadrant, but we are looking like we're gonna be bullish. Again, it's TGIF Friday. TGIF. That's what I meant. So let's just go ahead and wait on this and see what happens. But as you can see, this would have been a loss or break even if I hadn't exited out right here for a base hit. So that's why I'm just, for August, it seems like you could aim for full on moves, but for me, pre-market session, just aiming for the bases. It's clean, like from here to here, not a bad delivery. Right? Just give me a small piece of that bread. Small piece of bread, man. That's all I needed. But yeah, you can see this is just pushing straight on up. Again, we got them buy steps up here. So we could get above it, close, and then use this to then spring up higher. But I don't want to be getting in no long, like right at this high. Not that it can't push up, and this could be a decent trade up here, but I'd rather see this getting taken out to see if we get a pullback. But it's now 8:30 though. We 30 seconds in. We got 30 seconds down there to the candle close, so we're gonna hold out and see what's going on. Been live for about an hour now. I do think this might range until like 9:30, but we'll see. For the base hit on that trade, because this more than likely would have just been a break even. I say break even because we did take out this previous candle high, and every time we create like some sort of pullback, I always shred my stop. So, ideally in this area, even if I waited and this got taken out and we start pushing back, I would have more than likely exited out right in here. Because this is where you want to start seeing large candles start pushing to the downside, not trying to work its way apart. So, yeah, in the meantime, just wait, man. Nothing much really going on at this point now. I mean, it's the environment that we closing real strong. If not closed strong already, yeah. Now we tapping into this PD array. Both of my PD array key levels. But I'm thinking this is going to more than likely go up higher. But out of love for that opening range low that had been taken before we decide to want to push up and do anything else. Like even all of this, like out of love for price to come up, and then probably start showing some displacement again. Can aim for all this, even this -1. Like, let me just make a. Alright, let's get rid of this one. This here. Got that. And then we have this that lines up with the -0.5, which I absolutely like. So if I do find a setup before 9:30, then this will be the area of target. This is gonna be the first level. And then we have the midnight open, new day opening gap, and then we have these other key levels down here if we want to get heavy to the downside there. Alright, so it's kind of the game plan. Let's see what we get before 9:30. Either way, today it can be either break even or we just ended off on that base hit. I do think the 3 minute might be a little cleaner here though. And this candle don't have a bottom wick. Probably do like a one contract type of trade there. Like if we get a closure back below here, yeah, I can aim for that. I don't expect for price to come back to this key level up in here. If we get this closure below, like we get a closure below here, this candle wick, or this candle body, since it don't have a wick, we get a candle below that. Yeah, I'm looking for these typical lows. That's gonna be the main first target, and then this is where we more than likely will exit out depending on what happens. If we start getting large lethargic candles, then I might just let this run. But if candles are getting weak as we approach this area, then uh, I'd be less interested and more than likely exit out my position if I get one. So we just see how this hold out. I'm gonna keep it on a 3 minute because it does look a lot cleaner. So ideally, that's what we're gonna be looking at. I want to see if the bodies. I want to see if I can get an inversion for value gap here. Right here. This lines up exactly with equilibrium. So getting the closure below here, treating that, and then looking for that continuation. I'm afraid we might just want to range inside of this until 9:30, and then we might gonna do whatever. So let's just keep this on here and then wait it out for a second. So, I mean, right now it's still just messing around in this area. I truly think it's just waiting for 9:30 at this point. Um, Not that it can't get just send this to the back. Nah, we're going. Yeah, we're gonna keep it like that actually. Um, See what the 3 minute want to do, man. It's gonna pull back. If it pulls back to here though, and then wicks and then start moving up higher again, then this more than likely just gonna wait for 9:30. I low key just want to end it here though, cause I really just don't feel like watching this. 1 minute, it's just, I mean, yeah, we displaced now. It chopped here for about like 12 minutes now, or I'll say like 11 minutes. No, 12 minutes, and then we finally broke out of that. So let's just see what we're gonna do here now. I think we closed above there on the 1 minute slightly. So I think this is now dead morning. Might trade in the PM session, but I don't think I'll stream that. Just try to stream like once a day with one trade once a day on the stream. Unless I have found some hyper ability, right? Like if I get my base, like one trade, like when I'm meaning about one trade, it's like a loss. If I take a loss, then that's it for the day. If I take a base hit, then I'm able to look for another one to then possibly scale that up as well. But if not, and we just range right after, because really this is supposed to be the move going down until like 8:30, but instead 8:30 opened up here. I was expecting the dump. 8:30 maybe opening up lower, and then we working our way below. But we might just be trying to creep up for these highs that we left behind, right? To then possibly sell off. But again, it's 8:45. Macro time might try to get up here, manipulate that, and then try to go down. But we'll see. Nothing is promised right now, so I do want to keep it on a 3 minute though. 3 minute looked a little cleaner. 3 minute even closed above. Did that 5 minute close above too? Yeah, 5 minute, 15 minute, I think. Yeah, 15 minute as well. So this might go higher from here. We already reacted off of that 7:30 opening price. This might try to start working its way up. Let's go to 15 real quick. Which this is a 15-minute buy stops included. Point. But 7:30 opens up. Boom. But could look for this buy stops to get taken once more inside of that. Wait, let's see how the hourly doing. Hourly might end up closing above here too. But let's just see. I am thinking about cutting this a little bit early though. I might give us to 9 o'clock to see what we do. And then if nothing, then I might come back later. Might. But let's give it some time to work his do what he gotta do real quick and then we'll wrap it up. Got 2 minutes into the macro time, so let's just see what we get. And another thing that was the indication of this entire price action is the way Inc. ES is moving. So if we look at ES, we just dumped inside of here. We didn't even make it to the midpoint of this inefficiency. We just boom, and then stalled around. Pretty much ES was ranging. So it kind of gives you an idea to why price didn't play out like that. And to be honest, it is TGI Friday. So I'm honestly not surprised, which is why I exited out my position. Again, if it was any other day, I do expect that dump. But we've been bearish all this entire week, so I do expect like some type of pullback today. Let's look at the daily. Daily ended up closing below here, but now we're working our way back up. And this is the weekly chart, so we are respecting this and that order block. Right, so let me go back to that. I really swept out all these lows, previous day low, and now, well, we got this low here from previous day, but talking about Wednesday. So now we could be wanting to push all the way up to, we got these smooth relative equal highs in here, right? So market definitely might be trying to draw to that. The first draw though is obviously these highs because it's the most recent high after this drop. So this is the first objective, but then we get past that, we have this minor inefficiency, and then we have these clear highs right in here. So previous day low might be saved, but we'll see. We will see. It's Thursday, Friday opened up, boom. Could get a trade up, continue. Back row opened up as well. So we got the 15 minute. 15 minute, just drop down to this order block. And now looking like we're gonna continue to at least this high right here. It's very close in proximity, but I do think that it is the next objective for price to want to reach. And then of course, like we talked about, we have that, and then these smooth highs appear. So 9:30 can simply just wick down into one of these key levels and then decide to take off. So all in all though, DXY is pushing up. I think these are equal lows. Yes, they are. So maybe the DXY will want to actually continue down once we take out these clear buy stops over here, which was taken. We might want to come up inside of this over here as well. which is the DXY new day opening gap. Well, no, sorry about that. Not the new day opening gap, but volume balance. And so let's see what we get. Does the DXY want to push all the way up? And then go on the hourly. Are we gonna leave the band? Yeah, we push down. Let's look at the daily. Daily inside of this inefficiency. So we might want to get a trade up into this. Get rid of this. And here. Then we have this old volume balance that price can get strong, react off of to then try to continue down. I think them lows here was taken. Yeah, I don't know why I still have that. I meant to go there. So if we end up, I'm gonna put the event horizon, which is this. So you got this purple line, got the low, and a low here, and then you got the midpoint of that, which is this. So if we do get bearish in the upcoming weeks, this would be the next objective. And then we have this low if we want to get extremely heavy. Because we just shallow took this low over here. Which is why I believe I did have it like, which is why I had it like this. But don't keep it like this. That's if we want to get bearish stuff. But if we get bullish, we have this inefficiency that can then draw price higher inside of here. And if we're going to drive higher from the DXY, then NQ will look to try to work its way to the downside. So realistically, we want to leave these lows alone. Maybe even come up for these buy stops. Like this is the real next objective, right? We cleared these minor highs in here. Now we have this to then possibly get weak again. Once these buy stops are cleared, maybe we tap into here a little bit by pushing up. And then we'll look to continue the momentum. Unless these lows are taken out first, and then we start trying to drive up higher. That is another possibility. As you can see, let's go to the 3-minute though for here. So we just took out this minor high, and now we're starting to display slope. But we ran into this 3-minute inefficiency. So I'm not really liking this no more. So I think I'm gonna not waste my time for an extra 30-40 minutes to just for 9:30, not to even just for any of this to not give me anything. Because I really want to see this buy stops taken out. Like since we pushed all the way up here. Now we could obviously sell off from here, but again, I'm not interested in taking none no more. Now that I'm looking at this longer and longer, I just kind of want to wrap up the day a little early, and then come back later to see if anything shaked up. Yeah. But so far we up 2 green days with base hits, and that's all we need. Imagine 100 base hits. You know what I mean? So, hey, 100 base hits, anybody would take those. I'd rather take those than hella break evens and hella losses and a couple wins. I'd rather hit 100 base hits in a row, if possible, right? Which I think it could be, but you know, I don't think nobody hitting 100 base hit trades in a row. Bound to have a losing trade, but still, you get what I mean. Like, I just rather have those a lot of the base hits trades in my favor shit. That shouldn't be. Somebody else would probably want for risk reward or stop loss. Cool. Whatever works for you or anybody, you can do it that way. But for me, I'd rather get these little small base hits 100 times, the market isn't showing me what it want to do or that it wants to move, especially when we trade inside of levels like this, and then ES isn't really trying to trade anywhere, then that's just indicating to me we might get a small move like that and then range because of ES. And then there's maybe other assets that play involved with it too that are also ranging. So even if you just focus on one asset, like right here, like I wasn't even looking at ES when this happened, but you can just tell like that's not like even on the woman. Let me go on the woman. Like right here, when the bodies are essentially staying within, like for example, this candle, the bodies aren't really trading away from that. It's like closing very, very close to it. And then we got the low of that candle. I need bodies to be closing below the candle here that displays. I don't want wicks attacking it like that. That's just telling me that we're gonna be preparing for a retrace. And thankfully, we didn't just retrace like this, where we just wicked at the previous candle low, and then this, and then this instant. Right? It actually gave us time to analyze and do that. So I appreciate NQ for that. And the guy's trading here. So yeah, 9 a.m. We got 20 seconds. I'm gonna just go ahead and end this. No point in looking at this. I do think now we have another 15-minute efficiency inside of a 15-minute efficiency. So this is indicating that we about to get ready and take us to the upside for 9:30, which I'm not about to wait 30 minutes around for to see if I catch a setup or not, because I'm not gonna. I already know. So I'm not about to waste any more time. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Show you the trade one more time. The trade was from this inefficiency, this small fair value gap, to here on this candle. It wicked down a little bit, boom, and got out like around here for like 76 bucks. So again, them base hits go add up. $100, 76. The next week can be 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100. And every time we hitting them hundreds or 80s, 50s, all that, that's gonna add up. Even though like risk to reward wise, it's not the best. But again, base hits gonna add up. So regardless, we ended the week in a green. So let's just keep it up. And I'm gonna go ahead and end it here now. So yeah, man. Peace.